Hey everyone, welcome to part 3 of our mini-series. We already talked about, first, why most manufacturing software sucks, and second, how UMH breaks the cycle through open source and IT/OT best practices. Now we go into our third part, our product vision. So why we are focusing on making one single exceptional product for the unified namespace, and how we shape it around real user needs, something that you might know from companies like Apple, Linear, Figma, or Pitch, how they do it in their worlds. So early on in the history of UMH, because we were system integrators, we tried to do everything. We were having an historian, we were having OE analytics, we're having bridges, we were having IT infrastructure, basically a whole, you could put all the checkboxes there, and it led to confusion. People asked, hey, what, are you now historian or an edge platform? Do you help with connectivity? What is it that makes you special? And then we realized that by doing 20 different features, we would never excel at a single one. So we decided over a year ago, okay, let's scrap that. Let's pour all of our energy into just one product, the unified namespace, and do it exceptionally well. So this is a massive undertaking, because if you really think about the user experience, but all of those small details that you find lying around, like we were just talking here a couple of minutes ago, where we were talking about operating systems. Like we in UMH include the whole user experience and even include things like, hey, there might be changes between two operating system versions that might cause some troubles during the initial installation. I'm pretty sure most manufacturing software is just like, yeah, this is just for IT. We're like, no, this is a problem. This is a problem with the user experience, because you might struggle in some cases with the installation. And if it's just one thing, yeah, it's fine. But all of those stuff keeps adding up, and then suddenly you're trying to install it for a couple of days or weeks without any results. So we're putting a huge focus on the total user experience. And let's take Linear, for example. They are very opinionated. So what's Linear? Linear is a project management tool for developers. And there are already a lot of them out there. There's Asana, there's Confluent with Jira, very, very famous. How is it that Linear is getting traction? They said, okay, there is already way too much features in all of those products, and those products just simply don't make it right. Like you can do a lot of it, but nothing really works well. So they're opinionated. For example, they say, at Linear, we don't write user stories and think they are an anti-pattern in product development. We write short, simple issues that describe the task in plain language instead. So they've built around the product on how they thought software should be developed. And this is exactly our vibe too. We prefer strong opinions on how to do things, so we aren't buried in endless complexity. The result is a streamlined workflow, especially for real-world IoT applications. And don't get me wrong, like we are still not there yet, where we ultimately want to be. So getting data from the shop floor and putting it into the unified namespace is currently, for example, still a little bit clunky in the UMH. You can do it with a YAML file, because remember the previous videos, we said we always start with IT/OT best practices and then make it more maintainable. And at the moment, it is still a YAML file, which might make people a little bit uncomfortable. The new upcoming tag processor helps, but it's not there yet for every protocol converter. And for example, the OPC-UA browsing is still not working perfectly. But the good news is we are working continuously on improving it. We're continuously releasing daily updates. So even if you encounter any bug or any of those issues, we're taking a close look at the community, or you can ask your customer success representative, so that we fix those issues very quick, because we have a huge focus on the topic of user experience. But this also means that UMH might not be ideal for everyone. So if you want to keep control over 100%, if you want to customize every little thing, you want to have your own operating system, you want to have your own kernel patches, your own security things in there, then probably UMH doesn't make sense because you lose the value of our opinionated design, and that is okay. We rather have a stable, well-integrated system that covers 80% of your use cases straight out of the box than that we try to be everything for everyone. So you might ask, okay, but why not? Why you had all of those cool features? Why not do them? Why not add maybe SCADA module or machine learning? So the reality is that typical manufacturing software tries to be just that. And then they end up doing 20 things very poorly. You remember from the first video where we talked about all of those sales sheets where it ticks all the checkboxes. We learned from the trenches. We were on the shop floor and we knew how difficult it is to work with those software. So we said, okay, let's just build one product for the unified namespace and make it really easy to get data from the production side into the unified namespace. So we've seen it how it works with typical manufacturing software, and we were also like, hey, there are these companies like Apple, Linear, and they have opinions. So let's do that. Let's make something different in an industry where everyone is offering everything. And remember, where do we come from? We're ex-system integrators. We're not a big corporation. We're not having 30 years of experience on trade fairs and a big sales network. So we're from the shop floor and we wanted to do something different. So this is why we're so committed on the topic of user experience, on this daily updates, the user-centric design, because we know how it is when you don't have it. And here's already a small update. In the original article, those videos are based on an article I published a couple of months ago, we originally stated that we're struggling with the protocol converts because of the YAML thing. And we even showed the Rust proposal. And what I want to show now is that we're executing on this. We delivered. So we launched the tag processor and the Node-RED.js module for Ventos, for example. And what can you do with it? We took the simplicity of Node-RED. So we spent a lot of time on it. I think a couple of months just looking at it. What's the best way for you to configure a protocol converter? And at one point it just hit us, hey, almost everyone loves to work with Node-RED, but there are then these issues. So let's take the syntax of Node-RED and put it into a production grade pipeline. So this now means that debugging, working with the transformations, it can all be done in straightforward JavaScript. And we already tried it out and it works very well. Copy paste the Ventos README into the large language model of your choice. Say what you want and it will work straight out of the box. In most cases, the ChatGPT or whatever can generate all of your data transformation in the first try. This is a huge step forward because it prevents all of those unnecessary grind work that you need to do. So let's tie it all back to our first two videos. In the first video, we talked about why most manufacturing software sucks, because it is designed to be bought, not used. And it is very often ignoring power users. And in the second video, we explained how we take a fundamentally different approach, not through product features, but how we have built our business. We are building it starting from IT/OT best practices and then making it easier, not the other way around, start with a nice dashboard and then try to put some IT/OT best practices, try to put in there. And also because of our open source model and our community approach, people actually, and we know that now people actually use it, we're enforcing it, because if you have this typical standard sales pitch, you typically don't care about the users, but we are forced to actually help the users. And you can see it. Just go into our Discord channel and ask your community. And now in this third video, we elaborated on our product vision, how and why we are only focusing on one user-centric product for the unified namespace with daily updates and an opinionated design that might not be for everyone, but that's absolutely perfect for those who want a stable infrastructure they can build on. So we hope this series gave you a clear picture of what UMH is and what's all about it. We know we are not perfect yet, but we are shipping features every new day, guided by that single user-first vision. If you're curious, try out our free community edition or hop into our blog or YouTube to check out for our new weekly updates, like the new tag processor or the podcast that we're doing with industry experts And hey, let us know if you have any feedback or want to get involved with the community. Feel free to write us, join our Discord. Thank you for watching.